Knicks fans, what's going on? It's your boy, New Week, New Video. I'm so sorry. I know that I said I was going to get you guys more videos, and it's been a minute since I did a Knicks video. Well, this one's for you guys to help make up for some of the lost time, and I definitely do better going into the next year and next season to keep you guys tuned in. So let's talk about this season on the heels of us being officially eliminated from playoff contention due to the Hawks win. Unfortunately, ice trays put us out again, guys. And it is what it is. I didn't expect us to make it. I didn't want us to make it for like the last month or two. When it was evident that Tom Thibodeau wasn't gonna change his ways, when we lost people due to injury, when we were shutting people down, and now we're starting people out of position and things like. I didn't want to see this mess in the playoffs. So where do we go from here? What are the pros? And let's talk pros. Okay. So the pros. I believe this is a roster loaded with talent. Okay. That's the good thing. The good news is there's not a player on this team that I don't like in some way, shape, or form. Okay. Uh there are certain players I've been underwhelmed by. I'm very disappointed in the fact that Nerlens Noel barely played this year, even though I don't know what's happened the last month or some change. I don't know if it was a coaching call that we're just not going to play him anymore, because I could have sworn he's been healthy for like the last month. I'm disappointed in Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose has missed like 3 quarters of the season. And then obviously I'm disappointed in what happened with, Kemba Walker in that situation. But the pros, I'm going to talk pros. It's hard to talk pros, but I'm going to talk pros because that's what I said, right? So the pros are RJ Barrett. I like what I saw this year in terms of his development. I think that we need to be a team that run until we get a point guard. We need to run this team through RJ Barrett. I think that we hit it out the park by flipping Kevin Knox for Cam Reddish, another pro. I think that Mitchell Robinson has showed his value, and the rookies, that's the biggest pros. Jericho Sims showed that he can play in this league, in terms of, talent. Like, we're talking about a guy that was about to go undrafted that we got at the ass end of the second round. And I see Mitchell Robinson ish type of talent in that guy, in that he's a big, that's athletic, can rebound, block shots. That's definitely something that we can use, and he's definitely come in handy considering the Nerlens Noel has just fallen off the face of the planet. Um, Quentin Grimes has been a revelation. 3-and-D guy. Can't ask too much more from him. I think he's been great. I think it took too long to play him, but I think he's been great. Can't wait to see more from Miles McBride. These are the pros. Okay, the quickly starting to show shades of possible point guard of the future, right? Those are the pros, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's not too many pros outside of that. Okay. I look forward to the future with the youth on this team. The cons. I knew it was a problem when we re-signed Julius Randle. Why did I know it was a problem? Anybody that knows me knows I'm gonna tell you now. I'm a Knicks fan, and I was a big Kobe fan, so by default, I kinda am a Lakers fan. And the reason I say kind of is because I absolutely hate what the Lakers have done since signing LeBron. Okay, I don't even claim that championship that LeBron won in the bubble. That's where I'm at with the Lakers. But that's neither here nor there. The reason I bring that up is because I like Julius Randle when the Lakers drafted him. I liked him when we initially signed him. Okay, I think he's a legitimate power forward. I thought he brought legitimate talent to the team. But the second we drafted Obi Toppin, I wanted Julius Randle gone. The reason I wanted Julius Randle gone is because I am very enamored by Obi Toppin, and I forgot to mention him in my pros. I think we've seen that Obi Toppin can play, and it showed potential to grow into something that we can use. It sounds weird, but I'm going to elaborate more. So Julius Randle, I've wanted him gone ever since we drafted Obi Toppin. He ended up having the most improved season. A lot of guys were all jumping all over Julius Randle, couldn't, believe how great a season he was having and loved him. And believe me, I did too. But even then I said, Julius has to go. I wanted us to strike while the iron was hot. Unfortunately, we didn't form any kind of sign and trade. And we ended up signing him to a deal, which I immediately knew was a mistake. And the reason is we have a team full of young running gunners. And Julius Randle is a ball stopper. It was something that I could see coming a mile away, that ultimately we evolved into a team that no longer fits what Julius Randle does. The reason it worked so well last year is because you had Julius Randle, who is a ball stopper, but you had RJ Barrett, who was deferring to him. And then you had Reggie Bullock, who understood how to just stand in the corner and make threes and play defense. And Elfrid Payton, as much as we hated him, he played his role. But we went ahead and we signed Kemba and Fournier, so we took the hit on defense. But these aren't guys that just stand around and make shots, right? They're not guys that are efficient at watching Julius Randle do his thing, and then Julius Randle has unraveled under the pressure and the way that the team had evolved basically away from what he does best. So now he started rushing. His energy's been off, and it's affected the team. It's evident. We were so much better when he got hurt recently than when he's been on the floor. I just think that the proof is in the pudding. We're faster when he's not there. His defense has lacked. His offense, because he's feeling the pressure, isn't as crisp, and it's affecting his defense. And then by default, it's affecting everybody else around him. We have Obi now. I wanted to see more Cam Reddish. Unfortunately, he's hurt. We just have a team full of young, energetic guys. And ultimately, the other mistake is we're starting Alec Burks at point guard. And Alec Burks not only is not a point guard, I don't think he's a starter. And it's affected the chemistry of the team in terms of now we don't have as much punch coming off the bench in terms of scoring punch, right? So when Derrick Rose was here and we would roll out Derrick Rose quickly and Alec Burks, it was instant offense. But now with Alec Burks in the starting lineup and him trying to orchestrate the offense, now we only have Quickly coming off the bench. And then they're just now starting to play Miles McBride. And even with that, Miles McBride isn't the instant offense that Burks was. So, it's just been a mess. Tom Thibodeau's been really stubborn, and I'm so mad that it took him this long to kind of play with the rotations the way that he has. And to be honest with you, if not for injuries, I don't think he would have done it. And I'm not one of these guys who wants to see Tom Thibodeau go. I kind of blame the front office. If you've ever played a sport, you know what it's like to walk on to a team and the coach usually has his guy. Like, even though you might feel like you're more talented, the coach just loves his guy. And Julius Randle is Tom Thibodeau's guy. Alec Burks is another one. He's just Tom Thibodeau's guy. Like, when they sit in meetings, they have an understanding. They're able to tell him what he wants to hear. And even though you can see on the court it's not working, right? It's just that it's hard to get coaches to see things the same way you see them. When you might be more talented, but you might not understand the system the way he wants you to understand it. And that's ultimately a lot of what I'm seeing here. And I don't blame Tom Thibodeau because I've seen coaches like that. Who I blame is the front office. Because at the trade deadline, they needed to move some of these guys. They needed to move some of these guys and force Tom Thibodeau's hand. And if they did that, we might have been able to salvage this season and, while we're seeing good flashes now, I think we'd be further along because some of these rookies could have been further along in their experience. And then, we'll see what happens next year. But now we're in a weird situation, man, because we still got Julius Randle on that deal. We still got Evan Fournier on that deal. We got to figure out what we're going to do with Kemba. And then you got RJ and Cam Reddish going into their fourth season. It's negotiation time. It's going to be a headache, guys. It's going to be a headache. We do have an abundance of expiring deals thanks to the player options because they signed several players like Noel to player options after next year. So we do have an abundance of that. We got to get some of these guys off the damn roster so that we can kind of have a clearer path to what our destination is. And I personally, if I'm the front office, just by default, even if it's just for a draft pick, Randall's got to go. I don't know who would take him. He's tanked his value this season, and his style of play isn't necessarily conducive to this new NBA where everything's kind of free flowing and gunning. Like, think about the way Melo used to play and how people told him, like, yo, the game's changed on Carmelo. It's sort of the same situation. While Julius Randle can shoot threes, it's not what he does best. Ultimately, Julius Randle, when he's at his best, is when he's getting the damn ball on the block and being aggressive going to the basket. Threes are cool, but that's just an addition to your game. It shouldn't be your whole game. Right, and the guys standing around watching Randall, that like being a ball stopper, that's not the way the NBA's played these days. So we got to get Julius off the team. And by default, I think Kemba and Fournier would have been better players with just Randall off the floor. But I think some of these guys got to go, and it's time, until we get a point guard, it's time to run this through RJ. His ability to get in the paint at will is the biggest asset we have. It creates opportunities for shooters like Miles McBride, Alec Burks, Emmanuel Quickly. These are all things that can be done with just a couple trades. I know people want a superstar, but I really think that if we just get rid of these guys, other people are going to be able to see the potential that's on this roster. We have some untapped potential on this roster without a superstar if they make the right moves in the offseason. But those are just my thoughts, guys. Let me know what y'all think. Remember to like, subscribe, share. Appreciate y'all. Peace.